programs of World Community Service Center are started by meditation. Accordingly, we invite Professor Kalpana from Sky Academy Trust, Hyderabad to conduct Duriya meditation. Professor Kalpana completed MA in English Literature, B.Ed, MA Yoga for Human Excellence. She worked as a vice principal at Hyderabad for more than 3 decades. She got initiated directly from our Guru Vedatri Maharishi in the year 1987. Attended introspection, Brahmanyanam and master's courses conducted by Maharishi at Chennai, Arya, Delhi and Rishikesh. Professor conducted numerous introspections and Kayakalpa classes in Hyderabad through Hyderabad Sky Academy Trust. Took classes for Diploma and MA Yoga for Human Excellence at Hyderabad Center. She conducted Kayakalpa and introspection classes in New Jersey, New York, etc. Professor translated the book Blossoms of Life, Post, and 80 poems from the book Bliss Beyond Words from English to Telugu. At present, Professor was working as a president of Hyderabad Sky Academy Trust. She acquired own premises at LB Nagar, Hyderabad since 2017. Now, I request Professor Kalpana to conduct Duriya meditation. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, madam. Be blessed by the divine. 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 The atmosphere around us is being purified by the divine power. The atmosphere around us is being purified by the divine power. The atmosphere around us is being purified by the divine power. The divine power descends upon us and our body and soul are being purified. The divine power descends upon us and our body and soul are being purified. The divine power descends upon us and our body and soul are being purified. May the divine power protect us, guide us, and lead us day and night, at all times, at all places, and in all our activities. Salutations to Mother, salutations to Father, and salutations to our Guru, Vedatri Maharishi. Turiya meditation. Start meditation at Agnya Chakra. Turiyam. Let us conclude the meditation. May the energy be spread throughout the body. May the body and soul be purified. By the grace of the divine power, we will enjoy good health, long life, enough wealth, prosperity, wisdom, happiness, and peace. By the grace of the divine power, we will enjoy good health, long life, enough wealth, prosperity, wisdom, happiness, and peace. By the grace of the divine power, we will enjoy good health, long life, enough wealth, prosperity, wisdom, happiness, and peace. Vetatriyam, propounded by our Guru Vetatri Maharshi, be blessed by the divine. The World Community Service Center, be blessed by the divine. The Temple of Consciousness at Alier, be blessed by the divine. Sky trusts all over the world, be blessed by the divine. May the whole world live in peace, prosperity, and wisdom. May peace prevail in us. May peace prevail around us. May peace prevail all over the world. Peace, peace, peace. வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
வாழ்க வளமுடன். Be blessed by the divine. Dear all, today, 10th April 2021. After the blissful meditation, we are happy to welcome you for the Consciousness 360-degree 15th program meet. Thanks, Professor, for a well beginning of this session with Durya meditation. The law of life and gravity are similar. Everyone fails if not given a try. Now, the World Community Service Center R&D department has taken this initiative of Consciousness 360-degree, the weekly conclave. Now, let us move on to the welcome address session. We are pleased to have here Professor Satya Kameshwari from Gautami Sky Trust for welcome address. Professor completed MSc Botany, MSc Psychology, MA Literature, MA Yoga for Human Excellence, and MEd. She joined in our Sky System in the year 1999. She is doing the service for last 23 years to our Sky System. At present, she is serving as a professor in Gautami Sky Trust. Again, I would invite Professor Satya Kameshwari for the welcome address for today's Consciousness 360-degree weekly conclave. Over to you, ma'am. Ma'am, please unmute yourself. Satya ma'am? Yes, ma'am.
வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
வாழ்க
I
வளமுடன்,
take
ma'am.
the privilege of inviting Professor வாழ்க வளமுடன். Shall I start? Yes.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
take the
வாழ்க
privilege
வளமுடன்.
of inviting Professor வாழ்க வளமுடன். Shall I start?
Yes, ma'am.
வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
வாழ்க வளமுடன், ma'am.
Okay. I'll start the introduction. I take the privilege of inviting Professor Shakti Sharavanan and introduce in brief. As his father, Senior Professor V. Ulaganathan worked for many World Community Service Centers, and also he could bring Swamiji to his house and started a meditation center around Namakkal at the age of his 6. As a blessing of the Almighty, he got initiated by Swamiji at 13 and completed master course by 15. His academic and technical qualifications are BE, MBA, and his yoga qualifications are MSc Yoga. He is the director of CTPL Company, Chennai, and also owns a startup of IT services company in Chennai. He has been catering service and experienced for over 35 years in all the World Community Centers. He's been running Vilaypuram Temple of Consciousness at Crompet, Chennai for over past 20 years. He also conducted World Community Service Center classes in Singapore. He conducted all World Community Service Center courses across most South Indian cities as Thai Master. Valga Valmudan. Hearty welcome, sir. Shakti Saravanan, sir.
Be blessed by the divine. Valga Valamudan. Thanks for the wonderful welcome address, ma'am.
Thank you.
Valga Valamudan, ma'am. Now we are moving forward to today's Consciousness 360-degree conclave speech. It is the gravity that shapes the large-scale structure of the universe, even though it is the weakest for 4 categories of forces. Because there is a law such as gravity, the universe can and will create itself from nothing. Dear fellow meditators, please join me in welcoming our guest of speaker today. We have an eminent personality with us to explain consciousness and gravity. To understand the finer aspect, I am very much pleased to invite our beloved Skype professor Shakti Saravanan, BE, MBA, MSc Yoga from Umayalpuram Temple of Consciousness, Krompet, Chennai. We have such a renowned personality for us here to give a speech on consciousness and gravity. Over to you, Professor. Valga Valamudan.
Thank you, ma'am. வாழ்க வளமுடன். வாழ்க வையகம். வாழ்க வளமுடன். குருவே துணை. Dear friends and truth seekers, here is the agenda, and we will be contemplating under the topic of consciousness and the gravity. To start with my lecture, I would like to start with the invocation song. It's again taken from Swami's philosophy of magnetism. காந்த ஞானம் பெற்றிடில் கடவுள் உயிரறிவிவை காட்சியாமகத்துலே கலங்கம் நீங்கி தூய்மையாய் காந்த ஞானம் பெற்றிடில் கடவுள் உயிரறிவிவை காட்சியாமகத்துலே கலங்கம் நீங்கி தூய்மையாய் மாந்தருக்குள் பகை பிணக்கு மற்றும் ஏழ்மை ஐம்புலன் மயக்கமும் செல்வாக்கோடு பொருள் புகழ் கவர்ச்சியும் நீந்தலாம் உலகினைந்த நேர்மையாட்சிவோர் மதம் நெறியுடன் குழந்தை பேரும் நீதி நாட்ட கல்வியும் நீந்தலாம் உலகினைந்த நேர்மையாட்சிவோர் மதம் நெறியுடன் குழந்தை பேரும் நீதி நாட்ட கல்வியும் சாந்தமான ஆன்ம வாழ்வும் சலிப்பில்லா பேரின்பமும் சற்று மற்றும் மெய் பொருள் மறவா சத்திய வாழ்வும் சித்தியாம் சாந்தமான ஆன்ம வாழ்வும் சலிப்பில்லா பேரின்பமும் சற்றுமே பொருள் மறவா சத்திய வாழ்வும் சித்தியாம் காந்த ஞானம் பெற்றிடில் கடவுள் உயிர் அறிவிவை காட்சியாம் அகத்துலே கலங்கம் நீங்கி தூய்மையாய் கலங்கம் நீங்கி தூய்மையாய், which really signifies the kural which we have displayed on the screen. இருள் நீங்கி இன்பம் பயக்கும் மருள் நீங்கி மாசறு காட்சியவர்க்கு. So those who have attained the revelation, the illusion departs, as like darkness departs while lighting up the lamp. And of course, the rapture springs to man who could attain the state of revelation from all delusion free. Guruve Tunai. Dear friends, focusing the subject very particularly to the today's subject, gravity and the consciousness. So before stepping into specific topic, I put forward certain thoughts which Swami used to describe in his philosophy of magnetism. So today topic, we are taking both the things hand on hand, philosophy as well as science. As Einstein says, philosophy without science is blind. Science without philosophy is lame. So each other, philosophy without science is totally lame. It cannot act more efficiently. As well as science, if it doesn't have the truth, understand the realize the truth, then it is almost a blind, which causes all sort of a troubles, all sort of a war in this world. So we need to bridge those missing links, which Vedatrium is going to address. Vedatrium is going to guide this world, those missing link between science and philosophy. Three important missing link, which we found Swami used to describe. One is the static state. The first one, the Almighty, which is all pervasive as well as penetrative. And we call it as unified force, which remains eternal. So this is the first missing link, where the eternal force, what was the same yesterday and what is the same today and what would be the same tomorrow, it remains unchanging. We call it as truth. The second missing link among these philosophy and science, the fundamental energy particle, call it as in our Eastern philosophy called Akash. So the fundamental energy particle, not only that, and its behavior. So it's very peculiar to understand the behavior of the fundamental energy particle and its behavior too. If at all we understand its behavior, then the action with respect to the unified force and its evolutionary process, it would not be possible to have a proper understanding about the whole action of the universe. So the second missing link between philosophy and science is the fundamental energy particle. And third one, magnetism. In Tamil, we call it as Gandham. So this is mainly a root for the entire cause and effect system. The cause and effect basically the manifolded action from the fundamental particle, how it travels throughout the universe, as well in the universe, on the earth, in the living being, how we are going to deal with. So these are all three areas, three major points, which always the science blink, where the science finds itself handicapped, not able to move forward, where philosophy hums on hand and it is trying to take the science further ahead, and then the real purpose of the life to develop the consciousness to its fullness or the perfection of consciousness, maybe the whole humanity would be able to obtain, and the whole world, as for our Swami's objective, the goal, the world peace may be attained. So the three missing link not alone going to help bridging the philosophy and science, it also helps the humanity to realize the value of the humankind and drive the ultimate our aim towards world peace. So always, if you look at the science, the object and the subject, always they look at as a separate function. Science always dissects the object, go on dissecting the object and trying to find the truth, and trying to find the truth using the instruments, measuring it with a 4-dimension, force, volume, time, and distance basis. Whereas the philosophy, on the other hand, it merges their mind, the subject, with the object, what Patanjali called samyamam. When the samyamam happens, when the object and the subject becomes one, what we call rendered, that is Advaita, state of Advaita, Samyama, through which the wisdom blossoms. So the idea of putting this thought process in this forum, the gravity is also a typical process on a philosophical understanding. It's a subjective phenomena. It is more of realization through inner travel. And of course, the gravity and the consciousness are not two different phenomena. It is both quality or inseparable quality. So with this small intro on philosophy and science, we step forward. Ultimate, the objective, after knowing all those philosophical, what is the Swami's thinking, the whole world, how we need to lead in his song, in his poem of Perinba Kalipu, the bliss poem, he used to say that, உலகப் பொருள் உடலுக்கும் உண்மைப் பொருள் உயிருக்கும். The உலகப் பொருள் உடலுக்கும், to maintain the physical body, we need worldly goods. So the worldly goods to maintain the physical body, number one. உண்மைப் பொருள் உயிருக்கும். The truth is the essential, like ultimately the soul to attain its goal, as we talked about the perfection of consciousness, to attain the truth. உண்மைப் பொருள் உயிருக்கும் உயர்கலைகள் அறிவிற்கும். The art and science should nurture the intellect without any doubt. உயர்கலைகள் அறிவிற்கும் ஒழுக்க நெறி வாழ்வதற்கும். Having realized all these facts, need to lead a virtuous life. ஒழுக்க நெறி வாழ்வதற்கும் நடுநின்று வாழுகின்றேன் நாடனைத்தும் ஊடுருவி நல்லறிவின் தொண்டாற்றி. I live in this pious life with honesty, with the purpose of serving to the humanity, to enlighten the people across the world. So this is the objective and the goal of Vedatriyan. If you look at the song once again, உலகப் பொருள் உடலுக்கும் உண்மைப் பொருள் உயிருக்கும் உயர்கலைகள் அறிவிற்கும் ஒழுக்க நெறி வாழ்வதற்கும் நலமளித்தல் நான் உணர்ந்தேன் நடு நின்று வாழ்கின்றேன் நாடனைத்தும் ஊடுருவி நல்லறிவின் தொண்டாற்றி. So with this, keeping this goal in our intact with our conscious, in our understanding, we firm up our understanding thoroughly, clearly, and let's march towards our objective of world peace together with this perspective. As per the science perspective, before entering into the core of the subject, consciousness and gravity, the understanding about the science with respect to energy, it is constant. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed, and one form of energy can be converted into another form of energy. Just to keep these points as our basic understanding about the perspective of the science, so that wherever the point Swami trying to link it to the science, we must be in a position to understand in a better way. The clarity would emerge with respect to our earlier understanding of the science. So the energy all around is a constant. What we call it as planum. So that is how we now take it forward. Each slide, how we move forward, linking science with philosophy, and then looking at the overall understanding of gravity and the consciousness. So while looking at this basic philosophy, gravity, throughout the world, there are many personalities, there are many scientists worked on this wonderful phenomenon in the nature. Though there are lot many personalities, they worked on the gravity. Very countable number of people, of course, who contributed science and contributed mankind to develop and then lift the mankind towards the comfort level of living through the science, namely Copernicus and Galileo. Though they talked much about the orbiting of planets, though they're talking about the distance between the planets, those people, whomever they worked on those concepts, we could not derive much into the application. Whereas coming to Newton and Einstein, these two eminent scientists, they have worked a lot with respect to gravity. They derived mathematical understanding on this gravity and this gravity domain. And those application, those understanding, those theses, theologies were very much helpful, particularly to work on certain application, including the space science. So today we will be taking a Newton understanding as well as Einstein finding with respect to gravity, though they have talked much more other than these two factors. But to focus to our today's subject, so we will be focusing what is a Newton outcome towards gravity as well as Einstein. Keeping a tab on these two people, how they contemplated their finding, our aim, our thinking is to link with our Swami's Vedatrian philosophy of magnetism. So going by Newton model, there are three important laws Newton had brought to this world, where, as we talked about, the science always deal with the external object and keeps on focusing on the object movement. His first law was talking about an object will not change its motion unless a force acts on it. An object may continuously roll on, but there will not be any change unless an external force act on it. The second, the force of any object, it is derived mass times to its acceleration. So whatever be the basis of mass, the mass itself to that countable number, it is equal to the force of the particular object. So that is how the mathematical expression he had brought in mass into acceleration. The third one very important. We also used to adopt it to our philosophy for every action while two objects interact. The apply forces to each other equal and equal in magnitude and opposite direction. So what we used to say in our cause and effect system, for every action, there is a equal and opposite reaction. The same thing, Newton third law also trying to explain, in case of two objects kept apart at the distance of, for in this mathematical expression, at the distance of r, and those two objects having a weight, each of weighing m1 as well as m2, and he derived a formula. You can see on the screen, the gravitational force is nothing but m1, that is multiplication of the mass, and then could be divided by the root square of the distance, and the g is the constant. So he could understand the force between two objects can happen with respect to the distance and with respect to the mass, which is in turn linked to his second formula, which is basically the force derived, and it is equated to the mass times of its acceleration. So that is how the third derived rooted from the second law. So what we could see in the current day in our space science as well as the modern science, in our launching of all the satellite, we could use his formula. This formula really helps any object when travels away from the earth in the space, it is losing its weight. So that is how the satellite is driven to a certain distance using our igniting engines and motorical action. But after reaching the space, we don't need any energy to drive the satellite, wherein the mass, the particular weight of the satellite automatically get loosened, so then it can travel on its own. So this is an application currently we use. And the value of our gravity, the force of the gravity, it depends the mass of the planet. And of course, whatever we derived the mathematical formula, it depends the mass of the planet as well as the distance of the particular planet from its center. So when you drill down any planet down towards its center, the force of the gravity point to point, the point to point down up to the core of the planet, it is varying. So these two conclusions we could able to achieve using Newton model. Going to Einstein model, with the Newton model, we could travel, the science could travel to some extent using his gravity theory, but it could not help much when we deal with the planetary action, wherein Einstein came in and he could bring a new concept, bringing a new concept of every planet, every object has a kind of a mattress around the particular planet. The fabric of the particular mattress is fabricated with the concept of space and time. So Newton talked about the object is getting attracted, force is exerted on the object and it gets attracted, whereas the Einstein took a different term. Einstein took a different stand and he was talking about object getting attracted, whereas the space and time lean towards the object. For instance, if we take a sun is also like a bowling ball on the mattress. So there is a spinning, there is a net spin around the particular planet, like a mattress around this particular planet. It creates a depression that is drawing other planet closer to the sun. So that is how Einstein talked about the gravity with respect to space and time. And the one challenge Einstein took, we could not explain much about the repulsive force. So he could talk about the attractive force, and he could not, even though he brought in the concept of repulsive later point of time, he withdrew his concept as it also miserably failed. So now there we give our hand. Vedatrium is able to establish, able to fill up those gaps, able to help science, able to help mankind to move forward, where we are trying to obtain the complete understanding, a complete view, a complete perspective about the gravity. So even at the end of his findings, Einstein again shrinked his space-time concept into one called spatio-time. So he had an opinion as a spatio-time. Today, we are here as a Vedatrian who could talk about spatio-time is nothing but a single concept of gravitational force. So that is how look at the graph. So like any masses, there is a like Earth also warps in the fabric of space. So the photo showing you that how the space-time fabricated around the space as per the Einstein concept. A small video, just for a minute, I will drive it, the concept of gravity. There are 8 facts currently the world thinking about, and from where we will take a route, we will take a lead, how we had complete understanding about the gravity. Thank you. So this is a small video. So where the concept of gravity, how the current science still unable to move forward, where Vedatrium has to help the modern science even to move ahead and to help the science to complete its realization. So in the Eastern philosophy, there are two ways of thinking. The Western more of the scientific approach, whereas the Eastern, we also dealt with the same force using our own scriptures. If you look at right from Saiva Siddhantam and Thirukural up to Vedatriyam, we talked about the static state called Shivam and the fundamental particle called Shakti and the magnetism called Pranavam and the whole cosmic dance, the universal action and the evolution. So the whole scriptures, though it has described and elaborated much about these universal activities, only linking to the science, only to our understanding, Swami had brought a very good clarity in our proper understanding about the complete understanding of the universal activities. So this particular perspective, if you look at Vedatriyam, there are three essential components we will be dealing currently. The space, this is nothing but an almighty gravitational self-compressive surrounding pressure, which is nothing but we call it as gravity of gravity, the source for all resources, which is the origin of all forces. So the first component in Vedatriyam is called static state, the space. The second component in Vedatriyam, the manifolding of this particular energy, the gravitational self-compressive force, had evolved, taking into two new dimensions, one as a whirling action, another as a spreading motion. And the whirling basically causing heavier elements to move to the core of any mass, and it is causing the center of the particular planet to collect the any of the heavier elements, which will bring automatically the attractive force. We call it as Vetan. So if you take any fundamental energy particle, if you take as a particle individually, the speed at the peripheral will not be the same when you travel towards the center from the peripheral. So there is a reduction in the speed from the periphery when we travel towards the center of the basic particle. So there is a logical sense we understand that where there is a point in the middle where there is no motion at all. So that is where within the particle, the space available we call gravity and as well as the consciousness within the particle. And the spreading motion, if there is a whirling motion, obviously there is a spreading wave emanating from the particle. The spreading motion emanating energy moves away from the mass, moves away from the, particularly in the particle level as well as in the collective level, in the mass level. It creates a repulsive force. It dissipates the energy in a repulsive force manner. And in the particle level, due to the speedy motion of the whirling motion, the spreading wave emanating from the fundamental particle, it is able to generate a spreading wave that is once again merging with the static state. The phenomenon we newly we realize that is called magnetism. So Swami is giving two different names. One, the fundamental energy particle, very infinitesimal particle, we today call it as a dust particle, that is as Vetan, the first particle, because the speedy motion of the basic energy particle is able to reflect the complete force the complete energy level at the static state is culminated and then it has come out as an energy particle. So I could make out easily the speed of the energy particle is almost the same energy level, whatever the static state energy level. So if I say the static state energy is infinite, then the first culmination, the first surface level at the of our fundamental energy particle, the energy level also infinite. So these parameters, one whirling wave, which is a speedy energy particle rotating at an enormous speed, the energy level may be infinite. And from the fundamental particle, the spreading wave, it is getting dissipated away and creates a repulsive force. Because of the repulsive force also getting into the surrounding static state, which is also self-compressive, it is not able to travel further and it itself formed another small particle. We call it as shadow particle. And there is a third component, shadow particle. When it is merging with the static state, we call it as magnetism. So magnetism is nothing but shadow particle. Swami term it as Johann. So one is Vedan, the fundamental particle. Another one is Johann, the spreading wave, the shadow particle, which is merging with the static state. So with this, if you look at the basic fundamental particle, as we talked about, the speed of the particular energy particle at the periphery, fundamental particle at the periphery will get on decreased when you travel towards the center, where there is a point in the middle where there is no motion at all, where we call that motionless static state as consciousness. So the consciousness sits inside energy particle is the origin, which is also perceiving the action through its wave state and through the wave state of repulsive force and respond accordingly. So these are all the fundamental and the concepts which Swami had found, which also our scriptures, our earlier Saiva Siddhantam, our earlier Ahamangal, so they have talked much about it. Only the uniqueness, the Vedatri model uniqueness, able to link those concepts, able to link those theologies with respect to science. So addressing with respect to Vedatri model uniqueness, comparing with other science, other philosophy, even our own earlier philosophies, what is Vedatri model uniqueness? If you look at even Einstein model, he was struggling, which is the primordial state. So Vedatrium very clearly giving us the light into our thinking. So space is the primordial state, and Swami has very clearly told the space is accorded as a supreme, which is all pervasive throughout the universe and which is omniscience and has the all potential hidden in it. We call it as omnipotent. So this is the first thing. Though Einstein talked about space-time, he could not derive which is the primordial one. He could not understand much about the repulsive force. So Swami is able to enlighten us with respect to the primordial, which is the origin. The space is the origin. The space is the initial step, which is the supreme one, which is all pervasive and omniscient. The second one, the unique model with respect to Vedatrium, the ethereal particle, how it evolved within the space, and then Swami could able to explain its behavior also. So this is the second, the behavior of the ethereal particle also we could able to understand through Vedatrium. And third one, the time concept. The time concept, Swami had very neatly explained when the cooling happened from the static state, the gap between one compression and the expansion of the particle, there is a micro gap happening during the evolutionary process, the gap between the compression and the expansion, Swami terming as a time. So in a broad perspective, not only the particular particle, it is floating around in the Mahakash in the space. So in our philosophical understanding, the Akash, the basic particle, we have brought in 3 layers: Mahakasham, Bhudakasham, Sitakasham. So Mahakasham is a free particle which is spreading across the universe, and it has created a very vast whirling activities, a free energy particle floating space. We call it as Mahakasham. And from the one layer down, we have Bhudakasham, elemental level, where the energy particle all able to constitute into a mass, maybe with respect to molecular structure, and then into elemental, and then into all planetary level. So that is how the Bhudakash, 5 elements, we call it as Prithvi, Aputeyu, Vayu, Akash. That is of the elemental level. And coming to the Sitakash, same energy particle in the living being, it is working with respect to Sitakasham as a free energy, a life force particle within the living being. So if you look at the free energy particle in the space on its own spreading motion, created the spreading wave, created universal magnetism. Within the living beings, on the Earth planet, within the living beings, the same fundamental energy particle, when it is creating the same spreading wave called shadow particle, merging with the space, created called biomagnetism. So the 3 layers, Mahakash, free particle floating in the limb of the entire universe. Within the universe, as a planetary position, galaxies and all the planetary position working as elemental level, the 5 basic elements together in a various proportion. And on the earth and the living being, it worked as a biomagnetism. So these are all the 3 layers already been explained in our earlier philosophy. Swami also talked about 3 different level of Akash working. And the another important point Swami had established, the attractive and the repulsive. He could able to explain in a beautiful way where Einstein could not arrive a repulsive force in his model. Swami had very clearly explained how the repulsive force, that is, when the energy particle whirls at a higher speed, it creates a spreading motion, and the spreading motion creates a wave. And when it is trying to merge with the static state, due to the all around compressive force, it also formed a energy particle of shadow particle, which is nothing but a repulsive force. So the combination of attractive force and the repulsive force, the static state within the particle called attractive, Shivam. The repulsive force pushes the static state the other side and called repulsive. The combination of these 2 phenomena, the attractive and the repulsive, the combination of these two components together, we call it as magnetism. So magnetism is nothing but the existence of shadow particle, which is nothing but the spreading wave, which is nothing but the repulsive force, which pushes the static state ahead. Whereas as an attractive force, static state pushes the particle inwardly. So there is a repulsion, there is attraction, akarshanam, pratikarshanam. The combination of these 2 effects as a single phenomenon, there is an outcome of a shadow particle, the existence of magnetism. So long the repulsive force, so long shadow particle, so long its existence there, the magnetism exists. So that means the shadow particle is nothing but the magnetism that exists throughout the universe. It is filled throughout the universe magnetism, and on the planet, in the living being, same shadow particle converted and derived while merging with the static state, we call it as biomagnetism. So Swami puts it in a very simple way, an everlasting singular almighty. This is the force, which is not a force, a fluctuating force. It is a everlasting force, a singular force, which is nothing but the mightier than everything. We call it as Almighty. An everlasting, singular Almighty, and it is all penetrative dark matter. In Tamil, we call it as Paimapur. So, which is able to penetrate as a dark matter, which has got the inherent potential of self-compressive surrounding pressure force, which is resulting in automatic repulsion in its intensification of the, because the unified force is all around, it's a self-compressive force. So due to its high speedy energy whirling motion, it creates an repulsive force, and this force Swami called gravitational repulsive force existing and functioning as a unified force throughout the universe. It is linking. Swami talked in his poem, இழைத்துணியில் பாவாய் நூலாய் இருப்பது போல் பின்னியுள்ளான். So it is an invisible thread. The unified force, the magnetic force, the gravitational repulsive force, it exists and connects the entire universe, right from the particle to the element level, from the element level to the planetary level to the living being. This invisible thread, as a static force, as a repulsive gravitational force, it unites, it connects, hence we call it as unified force. In his song, Swami used to say, உலகங்களில் ஈர்ப்பு உள்மையம் கொண்டும் உயிர் வகைகளில் காந்த கருமையம் கொண்டும் நலமுடனே வடிவம் குணம் நல் இயக்க சீரால். So there is a connecting force, there is an invisible thread, which is nothing but a gravitational repulsion force, which connects right from the energy particle to the elemental level, to the planetary level, on the planet, on the earth, at the living beings. It also connects with the entire living being. So the tip of the grass on the planet is connected to the vast, massive, and bigger objects that is floating in the universe. So the biggest star is very well connected to the tip of the grass. So you could have heard about that. So the unified force, the repulsive gravitational invisible thread, connects from the energy particle up to the living being as an invisible thread. So with this unique model, with this kind of Swami had unique understanding, which has really taken the science forward, which has really helped the science to complete its journey of consciousness. So this will definitely help to turn the entire humanity towards the mankind, our ultimate goal of world peace. So this is the unique model, which is the unique points which I had worked many days, particularly Maharishi philosophy. What is the difference among the philosophy, among those scientific concepts? Where does Vedatrium stands as a unique? So with this understanding, with this unique guidance from the Swami, we now move on to understand the core subject, our Vedatrium view, particularly the gravitation and the consciousness. As we all know, the potential of the space, static state, Swami used to describe 4 components: force, consciousness, plenum, and time. If you look at all these 4 parameters, only the two parameters are the core parameters, force and the consciousness. The rest of the attributes which Swami is talking about based on the universal function. So normally the Tattvam philosophy derived from the movement of the universal functions, finding the root cause, finding the root of how this universal function happens, the philosophy emerges. So we used to say, if you look at there is a smoke, definitely you can make out there is a fire happening there. Similarly, while looking at the universe, while looking at the complete, the vast universe, the cosmos, you could find out there is some primordial energy which could able to make the whole universal functional in a smooth way. So, which is the one which is helping the universe working, as Swami says, precisely pattern, precision, regularity. So, which one is helping? A Tamil poet used to say, Suriyan varuvadu yarale, Sandiran tirivadu edarale, Yar idarkellam adhikari. Who mastered over all these planets' movement? Who is able to govern this planetary in a rhythmic way? Who is able to manage the entire movement of the universe, all the planets? So the movement of the entire planet is observed through the inner travel, through the inner science, through the inner engineering. Swami had found the origin of this movement, origin for all these rhythmic activities happens because the origin of these force is from the static state, which works on four core potential of the space: force, consciousness. The force and consciousness are not as separable qualities. Both are interlinked, both are interdependent. We say force is the consciousness of the Almighty. Consciousness of the Almighty is force, which is imperceptible, but through our self-realization, through inner travel, Swami could understand the static state potential is nothing but the force and consciousness, which are all inseparable qualities. And though it is, you may not able to perceive through sensory perception, but in his inner conscious, through his inner travel, he could find, like if you go to a pond and the force within the pond, across the pond, if you look at it, is constant. Anywhere you go and consume a water in anywhere, immediately the gap, if immediately whatever while taking the water, the gap comes, the water immediately comes and refill the gap very faster. Even you can see very slowly, you just consume the water using a vessel. The force around the entire the gap immediately comes and then refills the gap. It doesn't mean that the force near to the gap comes and fill the gap, even at the periphery of the particular pond, rushing towards the specific gap, and then it fills in. Similar way, that is the force across the universe. Wherever there is a ripple, wherever there is a manifolded action, the force across the universe, around the universe, able to quickly work on this specific domain. We call it as Vyabhaga Arivu. Meaning, the consciousness, if you look at your physical body, something is going in your back of the body. So you could able to see, some ant is going, something you can feel it. So we call it as physical conscious. Similar way, throughout the universe, wherever even a small ripple happens, even a small gap happens, the whole universe could feel through its invisible thread called unified force. In our scriptures, we call it as Vyabhaga Arivu, Vyabhaga consciousness. So this is the concept of consciousness as the consciousness pervading throughout the universe, above, around the universe, and beyond the universe. So the first quality we talked about force. The second quality, the consciousness, which spread across the universe, around the universe, beyond the universe. And the third parameter, the time gap in between the occurring, the micro gap, that is the energy particle when it is due to the contraction, due to the self-compressive force, between the contraction and the expansion of the energy particle, the micro gap, we call it as time. அந்த சுழற்சி சுழலத் தொடங்கி முடிகின்ற வரைக்கும் இருப்பது காலம். So the time gap is a very micro gap. Even we cannot visualize when the infinite speed of the particle, even we will not be able to imagine. It is infinite. And the infinite, within that infinite timing, the energy level, we cannot even find the micro gap, how faster it is moving. So that is how the time concept comes in. And then Almighty, which is mightier, which takes away all the global, all the mighty planets and floating in the universe. Hence it is called mightier than every other mass. We call it as Almighty. And Swami says static state is like a radical gravitational force as a plenum, like force, like a pressure in a pond, around the pond, which is a constant. Similarly, the gravitational force as a constant pressure, constant force throughout the universe, works throughout the universe as an invisible thread. So the Vedatrium views talking about the two things I would like to represent. The first thing, the energy level at the static state is infinite. Hence, the particle emerges from the static state, that also the spinning at the same infinite speed, at a higher speed, which will be able to reflect the whole pressure of the static. So the speed with the energy particle, the fundamental energy particle, the dust particle at the infinitesimal level also reflects the infinite quality of the static state. But after the evolutionary process starts, the entire evolution starts from the fundamental particle down the line up to the planetary level, the energy level, the speed of the particle getting layer by layer reduced, then it forms into various planetary as well as various elements in the whole universe. So the speed of the energy particle, we talked already about, the peripheral level will not be the same comparing to the center of the particle. So in the logic sense, the center of the energy particle is nothing but a static space. So the static space, we call it as static gravitational force, whereas spinning particles, which is pushing the spreading motion from the periphery to the surrounding space, called repulsive force. So the two forces, one is the gravity in the center of the particle, another one is repulsive in the periphery when it pushes the static outwardly. Then the Swami calls the small particle emerges due to the static state around the particle, brings out the shadow particle. So the force and the time function, there are two particles we initially talked about. The fundamental particle called Vedan, the energy particle, shadow particle emerged from the fundamental particle called Yogan. What is the difference between these two particles is nothing but the force and the time function till it exists. If you look at the fundamental energy particle reflects the whole energy level of the static, whereas in the shadow particle, it is only derived from the fundamental particle, which will have the duration wise, looking at the fundamental particle very less. So that is why it is able to merge with the static state quickly and then able to derive a function, able to derive a new phenomenon called magnetism. So the mass and the universe, if you look at the elemental level, if the fundamental particle, when it is associated to form a mass, we know those concepts. When energy particle, two energy particle leaving apart, whirling motion, it is working at a speedy way. So due to the space within the energy particle, due to the space outside the energy particle, it is linked together. Due to the communication between the space within the particle, outside the particle, always the communion, the communication is there. The speed of the energy particle automatically comes down when the space inside the particle increases. When the inside of the particle space increases, the speed of the particle comes down. When the speed of the specific particle comes down, then the new particle emerged, which may be at a higher speed, it starts revolving around the slow moving energy particle. So the fast moving, recently emerged energy particle is start revolving around the slow moving energy particle. There, the first fundamental construction, the basic atomic structure constituted. So from there, you may be knowing that how then molecular structure formed from the molecular to elemental level, from the elemental level to the mass. So if you look at the two concepts, centripetal and centrifugal, as we already we have seen that within the particle, there is a attractive force. We call it as center of the particle force as a static state. When the combination of these particle to form mass, the whole mass rotates, then the net collective force of this particle, when the net attractive force of this mass particle intensified, then we call it as centripetal force. When the spreading motion of the entire mass, the entire combination of the fundamental particle emerging from the mass, we call it as centrifugal force. So there are two fundamental forces within the mass. When it is formed a mass, the energy particle within the particle, the static state, the collective force of the static state, which is forming a centripetal force in the core of the mass, and around the mass, the repulsive force in its combination brings centrifugal force. So these two are very important. And due to the centrifugal force, every planet, they cannot come together, they cannot go away from that, because the repulsive force of individual mass keeping other mass away from the particular mass, and the static force around the universe is not allowing the mass also moving quite away. So there is a synchronization between these two masses, which keeps a distance apart and start rotating, start revoluting around the specific, maybe in the elliptical way or in the circular way. So this is how the planetary position starts, and the gravitational force within the particle, right from the particle level, with throughout the universal functioning, intermass space, and it is also linked with the space beyond the universe, it is linked. So that is why in the initial song, we talked about Ilaithuniyil Pavai Nulai. When you take any cloth, there is a pavu and there is a null. So there is a vertical this thing, and there is a parallel thread going within the specific fabric. Same way, in the universe, it is fabricated in such a fashion, there is unified force, the unifies through its motion and through its connected way, intermass, within the mass, beyond, within the universe, beyond the universe, connected. So with the basis of this centripetal force and centrifugal force within the universe, if you look at, as we already have discussed, the lighter and faster things in the universe will be moving in the periphery of the universe, and any of those mass which is having heavier elements, slowly moving things, which will be in the center of the universe. So the universe, if you look at, this is how it is fabricated. The heavier elements, slower moving things is in the center. The lighter and faster moving globe will be in the periphery. Even if we take our Earth globe, if you look at the Akash on the periphery. Down there is a labyrinth of layer of air, and then down you have water. Below that you have sand, and then you have rock, and then down you have elements. Then down you have to the core you have all the heavier elements. So this is how the heavier elements formed not only the universe, within every globe, within every mass. This is how the every layer has been formed. So this is how the entire intrinsic phenomenon happening due to center of gravity as centripetal force, and due to its collective net force of repulsive force, it is working as centripetal force and centrifugal force. So these two forces which maintains the universe, which maintains the universal entire planet to move, which does not allow mass to go away from another mass to a beyond a certain distance because of the respective repulsive force. And due to the static force all around, it is not moving away from much away from the particular mass. So either they cannot come together or they cannot move away also for a larger distance. So that is how the entire universe is synchronized. And going by the unfailing function of the static state, the consciousness, in the form of its function, we know that very well. Evolution, which is the inherent quality. Mutation, it is like an instinct. It's a inbuilt attribute within the specific consciousness, and the cause and effect system as we described in third law, where every action there is a equal and opposite reaction. So going by this particular gravity activities, the kinetic energy, which is for the any object, depends. We have so many mathematical model, which we have worked much on the motion, looking at the available time. So the kinetic energy, we know that the rotation about an axis and the combination of the motions, how then it is able to move around as a kinetic energy, as a potential energy, gravitational potential energy, how then it is related with another mass, how it is able to act on. So that is how the gravitational potential energy, which is again the two basic form of the energy level. So Swami talked about the inherent potential of the static state. One is on the spinning energy of natural quality based on as many number of energy particle together, and which is giving a combined velocity, and which is combinedly giving the repulsive force. That is how the gravitational repulsive force is formed. And looking at the degree of the consciousness. So in the beginning, we have already talked about the gravitational force within the particle as static state, which is nothing but conscious. Both are inseparable quality. We have seen in the very first initial slides, force and conscious are inseparable qualities. Force is the consciousness of the Almighty. Almighty consciousness is nothing but a force. That is why at the very subatomic level, if you look at the synchronized balance also having, if you look at the neutral of proton, the positive charge of the proton, and there is an electron of negative charge, how then they have formed the equilibrium, how then they are synchronized, and the movement of the entire atom is how it is at the micro level managed. So that is why we call it in Tamil, Avanindri or Anubum Asayadu. So the balance between the core of the atom and the outer subparticle, it brings an equilibrium as synchronization. The same synchronization at the elemental level as a pattern, which is nothing but the structural specification, and the precision, the sum of the characters and qualities accrued to the present. So how precisely, if it is to be orbiting 365.5 days, the Earth has to go with the same kind of a precision and the quality and the timing. So that is how in the synchronization of the consciousness, at the element level, based on this synchronization, we call it as pattern precision regularity. Within the living being, the same static state, the same consciousness, the same gravity, based on the degree of energy conversion, we call it as cognition. And the experience, which again we realize later point of time, based on our energy converted, we derive an experience. The magnetism, how far it is converted, and we realize later point of time, that comes to us as a experience. And getting an experience, comparing with earlier experience through our realization and the same consciousness, when it is tuned to that frequency, we call it as discrimination. So I'm just explaining the degree of consciousness at the atomic structure level and at the elemental level and at the living being. And in the human being, within the sixth sense, we look back, we call seer. Who perceives this perception? Who realizes, who looks at the universe, looking back ourselves inwardly, we call it as who perceives the perception, getting connect to the universal energy reservoir. When it is reflecting the totality, we call that degree of consciousness as Vyabhaga consciousness. So the consciousness at a various level, the degree of its way of working, in the inanimate, it works as pattern precision regularity. In the living being, works as cognition, experience, discrimination. And within the human being, it works Vyabhaga conscious, sixth sense, and called self-realization. So before concluding, this genetic center within the living being, it also plays a very vital role due to the gravitational force, because it is the center point for our life force particle. The genetic center is the center point for our magnetic force. Center force, magnetic, this gravity is also being formed at the center of our body, called genetic center, which also carrying sexual vital fluid of genes. So all these three, physical body, astral body, casual body, for all these three things, due to the gravitational force of the particular living being within the physical body, formed a center called genetic center. So according to the gravity, the specific size of the living being, if it is for the 2 cents, 3 cents, based on the size and the specific of this layer of this living being, the genetic center holds all the impact it perceives through senses, maybe as a pressure, sound, light, taste, and smell. It is able to take those imprints due to the energy level conversion and holds the imprint and then stores in our genetic center. And in the human being, it has become three important principal living beings. It holds the sexual vital fluid, which is essential compound. It holds the life force particle. It constitutes the astral body. It holds the biomagnetism, which is the essential core of the causal body. So the energy level, though it is constant within our physical body, due to its continuous rotation, it has formed a center of the body called genetic center, which holds all these three phenomena as a gravitational points. So whatever the impact in our senses, among these 5 senses we get it, it is able to take those impact, taking those impact through the force of the magnetism, biomagnetism, and then when we look at anything outside, that is getting reflected through your eye as a small mosquito. And then from the eye, it is converted into electric pulse. It goes through the nervous point through your brain and gets as a dot imprint in your brain. From the brain, as a biomagnetic wave, it spreads throughout the body. And when it is spreading throughout the body, the genetic center at the center of our physical body, able to observe all the experiences getting imprinted in your biomagnetic wave and stores within our genetic center as imprints. So the imprint, which is the root cause for all our pain, pleasure, peace, and ecstasy, the basic root cause is based on the quality, based on the imprints that had been acquired, that had been accumulated over a period of all the generations, and it is improving our life, and it is able to take us in the higher way of thinking. And if you look at the cause and effect system, for every action there is a equal opposite and reaction. So then, knowing this, every action is going to yield pain or pleasure, and then we understand the whole rhythm of the universe, and then we getting in tune to the nature in all our action. That is called yoga, that is called a spiritual practice. So while performing any action, without forgetting the law of nature, without bringing any conflict, tune to our mind in rhythm, in tune to the nature, bringing more and more good imprints to our genetic center called our yogic practice, all our Manavalakkalai, all our World Community Center practices, which is improving the quality, which is improving the imprints, bringing a good imprints, good activities. We call it as sublimation, Gunanalaperu. So this improves over a period of time and able to improve the quality of the genetic center at some point of time, when the entire genetic center able to raise its quality to the divine level, and the soul, which is hidden as a latent in our genetic center, getting awakened, getting enlightened through our consistent practice. So that is why Swami says soul is the most valuable treasure of our human experience. So with that enlightenment, realizing the static state formed within particle groups and the planet as centripetal force, which is maintaining the universe without error. Within the body, it is able to maintain all my bioroutine, all my central and all my automated nervous system. It is able to manage the complete biosystem, knowing this nature very well, knowing the rhythm very well, knowing the gravitational, the centripetal attracting all the imprints, able to reflect in its reaction as a pain, pleasure, peace, and ecstasy, managing and maintaining Mannil Nalla Vannam Vadalam. So leading a life, leading a pious life, leading a spiritual life, that is our the goal, that is our ultimatum, which is going to bring the mankind towards the world peace. So in my observation, what is the difference in the particular subject? Swami had brought a change, not only the philosophical world, in the scientific world. The energy particle do carry infinite speed, whatever the infinite energy level at the static state, which is also reflecting at the energy particle level, which rotates at the infinite level. But whereas the degree of the speed, it automatically decreases, automatically because of the decrease in the speed, it forms into molecular structure, then down to the elemental level, then down to the all the massic level. So the evolutionary process happens to the degree of the speed decreases, and gravitational force in manifold taking different phenomenon, wherein all the potential culmination, it comes out as a gravity. We have seen in our earlier slides as a centripetal force. And when it is acting, it is called centrifugal force. So the spreading wave is nothing but the magnetism which connects the genetic center right from the particle to the planet up to the living being to the level of human being genetic center. So this, our thinking, this particular enlightenment, it will help in future in our space science. Particularly, we are trying to achieve more into other planetary activities, how we can lead a peaceful life. Ultimately, we lead a spiritual life on this particular planet. Our Vedatrium would enlighten the upcoming generation, particularly in the space science. It is very well helpful. It is going to guide the entire scientific community. So Swami says, who can help us? Who can help to bridge these three missing links: static state, energy particle, and the cause and effect system? These three missing links, only the scientists can able to bridge the gap. விஞ்ஞான அறிஞர்களே, நம் குலத்தை வேரறுக்க வாழ வைக்க எஞ்ஞான்றும் உங்களால் மென்மேலும் செயல் திறமை கூடும். இனி நீங்கள் உலகப் பொறுப்பை ஏற்று அஞ்ஞானமுடையோர்கள் அறிவில் கூட ஆதி நிலையோடு அணுநிலை இரண்டும் காட்டி மெய்ஞானம் ஊட்டுவதற்கு முயல வேண்டும். மிக எளிது உங்களுக்கு இதை சாதிக்க. So only the science community, only the scientific community will be able to bridge these three missing links. When we able to bridge the gap between the science and philosophy, the consciousness, the other term called gravity, the consciousness, the other term called the gravitational force, which are all inseparable quality. This particular basic concept could be understood, from where the entire, the dead end, whatever the science could not able to travel, could be able to achieve through our Vedatrium. With these words, the end result, I just want to repeat Swami's song so that the entire, the presentation, whatever I was trying to present to you, to make you to bring a light of clarity. So I would like to present this song. நீர் நிறைந்த பாண்டத்தில் காற்றேறாது. Would air be able to enter into a vessel with water? So if you fill the water in the vessel, you cannot find the air in the anywhere the place to enter. Likewise, the mind, if it is filled to the brim with the truth, your material attractions and the emotions would not gain ingress, and the state can be attained only through meditation. It cannot be gifted, or you cannot give it to somebody else. So we need to elevate our consciousness through the realization of the truth and develop this awareness, which will chisel away our attachment in the due course of our existence on this blue planet, and which would lead us towards the perfection of the consciousness. நீர் நிறைந்த பாண்டத்தில் காற்றேறாது. I just sing the song and then complete my presentation. நீர் நிறைந்த பாண்டத்தில் காற்றேறாது, நித்தியமாமை பொருளால் நிறைந்த உள்ளம், ஊருலக பொருள் கவர்ச்சி உணர்ச்சி ஏதும் உள்நுழையாயிப்பேற்றை தவத்தால் அன்றி யார் தருவார், யார் பெறுவார், அதுவே தான்மை பொருள் என்றறியும் பேற்றை சீர்நிலையில் மனம் வைத்து வேண்டா பற்றை, சீர்நிலையில் மனம் வைத்து வேண்டா பற்றை செதுக்கிக் கொண்டே இருக்கும் விழிப்பு வேண்டும். I hope with this enlightenment of our consciousness and the gravity, the understanding which we had brought in, would definitely able to give a small light, at least to my experience, to my level of understanding. I could able to present with my utmost sincerity, and please do accept whatever, if there is a errorness or any of those gap. So I'm always available, and I'm always available at your service. Please do in touch, can be in touch with my mail ID given, and the contact cell number is given. With these few words, I would like to conclude my session, and thank you once again, all the organizers, particularly the director of the R&D, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to share Vedatrium, the Swami's thought, in a way, the the inner science, the inner engineering called consciousness and gravity. Thank you once again. Be blessed by the divine. வாழ்க வளமுடன். வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
வாழ்க வளமுடன். Be blessed by the divine. Thanks a lot, Professor, for the excellent and delightful speech on the topic consciousness and gravity. On behalf of all the listeners, we thank you so much for a powerful and soul-reaching speech, sir. Now, we are moving to the concluding speech. On behalf of World Community Service Center R&D Department, we would like to invite Arnidhi A. Radhika, Acharya Nagarjuna University, Andhra Pradesh, for concluding speech. Ma'am completed Master Degree in Human Relations, Acharya Nagarjuna University, Postgraduate Diploma in Yoga for Human Excellence, MA in Yoga for Human Excellence, MSc in Yoga, MSc in Psychology, MA in Astrology, SVASA Yoga Instructor, Ayush Yoga Professional, PG Diploma in Computer Application, Certificate courses in Acupressure and Ayurveda. Her services started from 2002 to 2009 as a Yoga Mataji of Dhyana Mandali Organization Service. She entered in the yoga field in the year 2002 and completed meditation, medication, and yoga teacher training course. She conducted so many yoga classes and awareness camps in entire Andhra Pradesh as a Yoga Mataji. Her Sky services through the sub-center of VVK Sky Trust since 2013. She started service as a faculty of PG Diploma Yoga for Human Excellence course at ANU. Professor started her services in WCSC Yoga course as coordinator at ANU AP since 2018. At present, ma'am is pursuing PhD. She had Mahila Ratna Award issued in 2018 for the Meditation Awareness Program in AP. She is also NSS Program Officer at UCPESS ANU. She conducted Yogasana in Sports Association of Andhra Pradesh, President organized by Ministry of Youth and Affairs, Government of India. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam. வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க வளமுடன். Be blessed by the divine. Be blessed by the divine. Salutation to Vedadri Maharshi. First of all, I thankful and grateful for this wonderful opportunity of giving concluding speech during this webinar. It's a divine blessings to me. Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening speech by Professor Sekti Sarvan, sir. I will try to conclude your speech, sir, about consciousness and gravity. Dr. Sekti Sarvan, sir, starts today's session with Swamiji's philosophy of magnetism poem in blissful state. And he starts, philosophy without science is blind. Science without philosophy is lame. Sir, firstly, explain philosophy, science, and missing links. Three important missing links Swamiji described. First is a static state and preservative, penetrative, and infinite force. And second one is fundamental energy particle and its behavior. And third one is magnetism and cause and effect philosophy. It's a wonderful explanation, sir. And also explain the value of human life and fundamental particles. And next, he explained science and philosophy aspects of gravity. Science deals the object only. Philosophy merge subject and object concepts through samyama state, according to Patanjali, which wisdom blossoms. Consciousness and gravity is inseparable, he explains. And then third concept is science perspective. Energy is constant, can neither be created nor destroyed. One form of energy can be converted into another form of energy. He explained very well. And other Western scientists worked on cosmos and gravity. He said some key personalities: Copernicus, Galileo, Newton, and Einstein model of gravity. And first of all, Newton, he explains, Sir explains Newton model of gravity. He explained three important laws. First, object will not change its motion unless a force acts on it. Force and objects equal to mass times in acceleration. And second, objects interact equal and, well, every action is unequal and opposite reaction. It's a wonderful explanation, sir. Newton law of, Newton model of gravity. And then Einstein model of gravity. So Einstein considered or modified a Newton model of gravity. Gravity is due to the action of a particle and on the surrounding space. So, and then Einstein could not derive much or repulsive force. And then he explained Vedadriyam. He explained the gravity in a beautiful video through 8 facts of gravity, understanding the gravity completely. And in this video, the absence of gravity, man faces so many health problems. So how the current science unable to move forward. He will explain this concept. And next, in philosophical perspective, and Vedadriyam or Siva Siddhantam talks about Sivam, Pranavam in cosmic level. And he explains the static state in space, self-compressive force, all the origin of all forces, whirling and spreading motion. And then Vedhan particle and magnetism, self-compressive force and repulsive force. Especially he explains self-compressive force and repulsive force, a well explanation, sir. And also magnetism, shadow particle. And next, consciousness inside the energy particle, Vedadri model of uniqueness. He explains a very good explanation, sir. Very informative explanations. Vedadri model of uniqueness. So that is Vedhan, primordial state, space as a supreme. And then how to evolve, it's a behavior, space and behavior. He explained space and behavior. And time concepts also explained. Gap between, what is the time? Time is gap between compression, in between the compression and expansion. And explain also Akash, 3 layers of Akash: Mahakash, Bhutakash, and Chidakash. Mahakash is related to free particles in the space, and Bhutakash is the elementary planetary position, and Chidakas is a life force particle. So wonderful explanation, sir. So then how the repulsive force creates a spreading motion, and a wonderful explanation. And then the combination of these attractive and repulsive force is magnetism. So he explained Swamiji's magnetism concept also. Then Swamiji says everlasting singular force is almighty, and it is all penetrate dark matter with inherent potential of self. So that is gravitational repulsive force. So that is the, Swamiji says unified force. And next, potential of space static state. So in a static potential of space and static space is the 4 characteristics, and that is these are force, consciousness, plenum, and time. So force and consciousness are core parameters, Swamiji says, and plenum is a radical gravitational force work throughout the universe. So Dr. Sekti Sarvan sir is wonderful explanation, sir. And then two things of Vedadriyam especially deals, that is these are gravity force and repulsive force, well explanation of gravity force and repulsive force, and then explain Vedhan and Yogan, what are the difference between Vedhan and Yogan, and then about mass and universe. So how the molecule structure formed, these two forces, centripetal force and centrifugal force, maintain all universe. And also explain within the universe and beyond the universe, and explain also center of gravity, importance of center of gravity. So a new model of gravity defined Vedadri Maharshi, model of the universe, wherein gravity is the action of space on the particle. It defines matter, energy, time as the manifestations of the space itself, which is plenum, primordial, omnipotential, and total consciousness. Maharshi specially concentrate on the self-compressive character of space. Space itself is gravity. Dr. Shakti Sarvansar also says excellently, it is everlasting, singular, almighty, highly transparent, imperceptible, dark fluid matter. It's characterized by acquiring kinetic, inexhaustible, self-compressive surrounding force. So consciousness is the property of gravity, is nature. It is an inevitable potential of gravity. So all the force of gravity and all the functions of the conscious it's inseparable. So sir also explained genetic center and cause and effect. And then consciousness works in non-living beings as pattern, precision, and regularity. And living beings works cognition, experience, and discrimination. So very explanation, sir. So I'm just try to conclude the session, sir. So the whole universe is the product of gravity, and all the functions are determined by consciousness. So eternal wisdom is the unique quality of the divinity that seems to be dormant in every human in the form of consciousness and mind. A person to understand that the Almighty itself got transformed into human, and every human through yoga and simplified Kundalini yoga practices and meditation should get merged with the divinity. So this is the journey of consciousness, like Swamiji says. So consciousness plays a very important role, nothing other than God. He is order of, that is order of function. So true understanding the consciousness will result in love and compassion. Maharshi says gravity and consciousness and understanding of both these subjects is essential for the enlightenment of knowledge of mankind. So it's just briefly conclude the sir session. So sir, I'm very much thankful to your excellent session, sir. I'm very thankful to all of you. So be blessed by the divine. May the world enjoy prosperity, happiness, and peace. Thank you for this opportunity. Be blessed by the divine. Be blessed by the divine. Thank you.
வாழ்க வளமுடன். Thanks for the concluding speech, ma'am. Now, we will post the link for the feedback form in the Zoom chat box. Kindly fill up this form and share your inputs to make the program better. We have shared 2 types of Google form